Delete her access. All of it. I heard the words before I saw who said them. It was Jenna, my best friend of 7 years, standing in the server room with our IT lead, her voice low but sharp. The glow from the racks lit her face in a cold blue, nothing like the person I used to trust. She didn't see me behind the doorframe. 20 minutes ago, she'd smiled at me across the open office, sipping the coffee I'd bought her. Now she was cutting me out of the very project we built together, the AI platform we'd pitched side by side to investors, the one that had just landed a $120 million. I felt the weight of my badge around my neck like a noose. I didn't step in, didn't confront her, not yet, because if she thought she could erase me quietly, she didn't know what I still had in my personal drive. I walked back to my desk, heart pounding, but face calm. Jenna thought I'd fold if she blindsided me. She didn't know I'd been backing up our code and deal documents for months, ever since I noticed her changing commit authorship tags from my name to hers. The $120 million contract with Vardis Tech wasn't just about the AI, it was about the proprietary training data I'd sourced, cleaned, and refined for 2 years. Without it, the system was nothing more than a flashy interface. She didn't own that data. Legally, neither did the company. Not yet. I had filed the copyright before onboarding it into the system, quietly, in my own name. By the time IT disabled my access, I was already working from my personal machine at home. Jenna announced in the team Slack that I was stepping away to pursue personal projects and thanked me for my invaluable contributions. I almost laughed. She wanted it to look amicable to the public because investors hated messy exits. But in private, she blocked my number. Every message I sent bounced back. Fine. The deeper her silence, the better, because I'd let her roll out the platform to Vardis Tech without the actual production dataset, only a placeholder version I'd swapped in 2 weeks ago. I watched the press conference from my couch. Jenna stood on stage, flanked by Vardis executives, beaming in a white blazer she'd once borrowed from me for a job interview. "Our AI will revolutionize logistics forecasting," she said, gesturing to a demo running on the big screen. I knew what they were seeing: fake projections, random noise disguised as insight. It looked impressive to the untrained eye, but in real-world deployment, it would crash. The real data set, the one that actually worked, was encrypted on my private drive, and only I had the decryption key. The first cracks appeared 3 days later. A supply chain client reported wildly inaccurate forecasts, inventory shortages where the AI predicted surpluses, deliveries delayed by weeks. Vardis's customer support channels exploded. But instead of admitting a fault, Jenna doubled down, blaming unexpected market volatility and promising a fix. I knew that bought her maybe a week. Investors started asking questions, and the moment they did, I'd be ready to answer them, with proof. Vardis's CTO called me from a blocked number. "We've noticed some irregularities in the dataset," he said carefully. "Can we meet?" I almost smiled. This wasn't a courtesy call, it was a lifeline. They'd tested every backup they had, but the results were the same: garbage. And now they needed the one thing Jenna couldn't give them: me. I agreed to meet, but not at their office. We chose a neutral ground, a downtown law firm. I walked into the conference room to find the CTO, 2 lawyers, and unexpectedly, Jenna. She looked pale, her usual polished calm cracked at the edges. "We just need the original data set," the CTO said. "In exchange, we can negotiate terms that recognize your ownership." I let the silence stretch. Then I slid a folder across the table: copyright registration, source logs, and timestamps proving my authorship. Jenna's eyes widened. She'd never seen the paperwork. She knew right then she couldn't contest it. The lawyers whispered among themselves. The CTO cleared his throat. "What do you want?" That was the moment I'd been waiting for. I didn't just want money. I wanted the truth documented, my name restored in every contract, every press release, a public acknowledgement that I co-created the platform, and a payout proportionate to the deal, 30% wired within 48 hours. They balked. I stood, gathered my papers, and headed for the door. Without me, your $120 million platform is just a PowerPoint, I said. They called me back before I reached the elevator. The settlement terms shifted fast. 30%, my authorship restored, and a binding non-disparagement clause against Jenna. I signed. They wired the first installment that evening. Jenna didn't speak to me, didn't even look at me, but I caught her reflection in the glass door as I left. She looked like someone who'd just realized she'd bet her entire career on a bluff and lost. News of the settlement didn't stay quiet for long. Industry blogs picked it up, framing it as a founder rights dispute. My inbox filled with interview requests, but I turned them down. I didn't need to talk. My silence kept Jenna guessing how much I might still have in reserve. In reality, I had more than she imagined. Unused product features, unreleased modules, all mine by copyright. 2 months later, Vardis quietly rebranded the AI under a new name. Jenna was no longer listed as the sole inventor. My name sat beside hers, exactly where it should have been from the start. She stayed at the company, but her role diminished. No more keynote speeches, no investor calls. I'd taken the spotlight she tried to steal and locked it behind a door only I could open. I used my payout to start a new venture, smaller, leaner, and fully mine. No partners, no silent agreements, just me and a team I chose personally. I didn't rush to launch. I wanted every line of code bulletproof before the world saw it, and I kept the project completely offline until it was ready. Lesson learned. One evening, I got a LinkedIn message from someone at Vardis. Jenna's leaving, something about stress. I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. She'd built her reputation on claiming my work, and when the truth came out, she had nothing left to stand on. The AI platform we'd once dreamed up together was still alive, but it wasn't hers anymore. Investors had moved on. Vardis was quietly scaling down the product, probably to cut losses. Meanwhile, my own system was in beta testing with 3 high-value clients and working flawlessly. I never confronted Jenna face-to-face. I never needed to. She knew what I'd done, and more importantly, she knew what I could do. Betrayal had taught me something no success ever could, that power isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about knowing exactly when to stay silent and exactly what to hold back. And I still had more than enough to keep her awake at night.